Just another picture-perfect evening for baseball here at Great American Ballpark. We are set for action, game 2 of this 3-game set between the Reds and Cardinals. Matt Carpenter will step in and lead off for the Cardinals, facing Alfredo Simon. And Carpenter, your reigning National League Player of the Week. First pitch in there for a ball, and we are underway. Chris Conroy calling balls and strikes behind the plate. Crew chief Jerry Meals down at first. Sean Barber at second. Ron Culpa manning third base. Second pitch in there for a strike. We're even up 1-1. Carpenter, a .279 hitter, 9 home runs, a team leading 38 runs driven in. And as we've said many times, one of the toughest at-bats for a pitcher, because he loves to take a lot of pitches. He'll work that count, and right now behind 1-2 to Simon. Last 10 games, 381 clip. 6 runs batted in, 2 triples.
You know, with Carpenter wearing the sunglasses that he has, you don't see him do that very often, but it is very bright. The background here at Great American Ballpark, we talk about it this time of year, very difficult to see the spin on a ball because it is so bright behind the pitcher's back. Carpenter trying to combat that with special lenses.
And the count's full, 3-2. Reds have a shift on Carpenter.
He's got it all going on. He's got the eye black and the sunglasses working.
Three-two pitch. Grounded foul. Alfredo Simon coming off of a 7-inning performance in Colorado. The numbers not what he wants, but perhaps turning the corner.
Well, overall he's averaging fewer than 5 innings per start, and that's exactly not the reason why the Reds picked him up. They wanted a guy that would eat innings up, and Brian Price has been very poignant about saying to the press, and I'm sure to Alfredo Simon, hey, we need you to get better. We need you to go deep in ball games. That's why you're on this ball club. Of course, when he was a free agent over the winter, nobody came calling until the month of March when the Reds ended up signing him. And he did not have much of spring training to go, and I think that from a starting pitcher standpoint, he really lacked the arm strength he needed to start the season.
8th pitch of the at-bat on the way. Popped up left side, coming a long way is Suarez, and he can't get there. Reds with that shift on, Suarez was playing closer to second base than he was to third base. That was a long way to come.
Boy, that is a rarity right there, because that ball was fairly high into the air. And normally that's just a can of corn that the third baseman goes over near the dugout, camps underneath, and gets. So Carpenter got away with one right there.
Down low, and Simon walks the first batter of the game. Reynoldsburg, Ohio product. Mike Matheny will line him up this way. Carpenter, you just saw. Aledmus Diaz, the electrifying rookie, batting second. Adams, Piscotti, and Peralta, 3, 4, and 5. Matt Holliday with the night off. Brandon Moss and his team-leading home run total in there tonight. Yadier Molina behind the plate. Randall Grichuk batting 8th, and Jaime Garcia on the mound batting 9th. And here is Aledmus Diaz. Reds held him in check last night. 0 for 4 night. Did have a sacrifice fly RBI. His numbers on the season: 321, 8 bombs, 31 runs driven in. So those leadoff walks so many times come back to haunt. And Simon misses for a 2-0 count, and Tucker Barnhart wants to have a conversation.
I was a little surprised really on the choice of pitch for a 3-2 count with a guy like Carpenter, who does not chase much out of the zone. A split finger fastball is what the pitch he walked on. That's a pitch that is really best thrown when it is a ball. You're ahead in the count, and you make a hitter chase that. You don't really throw that much with 3 balls on him and a risk of a walk.
Missed again, 3-0.
And I think that was the message that Barnhart took out there to Alfredo Simon. Say, hey, we got to use your fastball, big guy.
Diaz probably expecting a heater right here and gets it, but misses again, and Simon has walked the first 2 of this game. So trouble brewing right away as the lefty Matt Adams will dig in. Adams a .331 hitter. To a very good start here in 2016. Injured in the early part of the season. Wasn't a regular starter. But now has pretty much been their everyday first baseman. Long one. Trouble. Right center field. And the Cardinals lead 3-0. Home run number 8 for Matt Adams in 2016. And the Cardinals came off the mat last night rallying from 5 down, and the Reds are going to have to come back from an early 3-0 deficit.
You got to figure that Matt Adams is looking for something to drive right here, knowing that Alfredo Simon just wants to throw a strike. And that is a left-hander's low inside wheelhouse right there.
Still nobody out, and Stephen Piscotty. First pitch a strike. Matt Adams is just, as they say, country strong, and he showed it right there. A little Mohawk look going on. Oh-2 pitch. Ring him up. First out. Recorded by Simon. So with 1 down, Johnny Peralta.
You come back and throw some pretty good pitches in this at bat. You see the first 2 down at the knees, and then the last one, a breaking ball, just fooled Piscotty right when he really first came out of his hand. I'm not so sure if Piscotty even saw the spin on that pitch.
Peralta first pitch swinging, a grounder to Phillips. 2 down. So following 2 walks and a home run by Matt Adams, Simon comes back and records the next 2 outs. And he'll try to get out of the first, getting by Brandon Moss. Moss did not play last night. His 11 home runs lead the Cardinals. First pitch strike. Downstairs, weaving up 1-1. And the 1-1 from Simon. Swing and a miss. And the 1-2 pitch. Grounder right side. Votto. Flip to Simon. And after the first 3 reach, the next 3 record outs. But the Cardinals lead by 3. The Reds now coming up. Zach Cozart will lead them off for Cincinnati. And here's Brian Price's lineup tonight. It's the same outside of the battery. Cozart, Votto, Phillips, Bruce, Duvall, Suarez. Billy Hamilton batting 7th. Tucker Barnhart, after a night off last night, back behind the plate. Alfredo Simon will hit 9th. Jaime Garcia, the lefty, 10 career victories versus Cincinnati.
Garcia is now 29 years old. He was one of those picks that the Cardinals got late in the draft in 2005. 22nd round draft pick, and he has been a good one here for the Cardinals.
First pitch to Cozart, in there for a strike.
Garcia really only throws 3 different pitches. He throws a fastball, a changeup, and a slider. They do have a curveball listed, but he rarely ever throws it. So his pitch speeds vary only about 7 or 8 miles an hour from fastest to slowest.
No problem for Garcia right here. He records the first down. And now Joey Votto. Last night saved the day. His 5th career walk-off home run. It came off of Kevin Seacrest, pitcher in which he had not had a hit in his career against. But he put a charge into it as the Reds took series opening victory. First pitch, lefty on lefty, in there for a strike. Here it was. Left it up. Votto knew it from the get-go. You can call that the home run strut coming out of the box. Nothing better in baseball than that. All behind 0-2 though here. He's got good success in his career against Garcia. 343 average. 12 for 35, a home run, and 10 strikeouts along the way as well. Oh, 2 pitch. Right center field. Let's see if Votto will try for 2. He will. Throw not in time. Stand up double. Joey Votto. Double number 11, 2016 for Mr. Votto.
Well, when you make a mistake pitch to Joey Votto, when he's on, he smashes it. And right there, Jaime Garcia shook off a slider from Molina in order to throw a fastball, and he threw it essentially right down Broadway. And there was the sweet spot of Joey Votto's bat to greet it and line it into right center field.
Well, they've been busting him inside all season long, and nice to see him turn on one there. Here's Brandon Phillips riding a 10-game hitting streak. That ties for the longest of the season by a Reds batter. First pitch, grounder to third, and that's not going to do much. Votto's got to stay at second base. Here's your 4 defensive lineup for the Cardinals. Brandon Moss in there playing left tonight. Grichuk Piscotty filling out the outfield. Johnny Peralta, second game back from injury. Diaz, Carpenter, Matt Adams. Yadier Molina back behind the plate, hanging the signs for Jaime Garcia. Jay Bruce and his .279 average step in. Bruce riding a modest 3-game streak coming in to right field. That's going to find some green. And here comes Votto to score, and the Reds are on the board. RBI single, Jay Bruce. Take them how you can get them.
Yeah, broken bat and all. I mean, it looks like this pitch just kind of comes right in there on Jay Bruce. You can see the bat splinter in his hand. But when Jay Bruce swings the bat and swings it full, it has a tendency to freeze the outfielder, and they don't often get a good jump on balls where they really have to charge hard. That ball falls into no man's land. Bruce picks up a very valuable 2-out run batted in.
Tell you what, that's a big run right there. Just to put at least 1 on the board after the Cardinals started this game with 3 runs. Duvall just rips it into left field, and he continues his hot hitting. Now a 6-game hitting streak for Adam Duvall.
What you're seeing right now with the Reds is that everybody in this lineup is very aggressive against Jaime Garcia. You know, there's so much scouting and so much data to rely on, and what you can easily find on the internet is that Jaime Garcia really likes to throw a lot of first pitch fastballs, especially the first time through the lineup, and the Reds know this. So Phillips went after the first one. Bruce went after the first one. Duvall has gone after the first one.
5 batters have come to the plate, and Garcia's thrown only 8 pitches to back up what you just said. here's Suarez. We'll see if he tries to jump on the first pitch.
And a breaking ball.
All 9 pitches from Garcia have been strikes. The 0-1 to Suarez. 1-1. Eugenio 2 for 7 in his career off of Garcia. Ground ball to third, just foul. Really good thing because Peralta had an easy play just stepping on the bag. So Suarez still has life.
What Garcia likes to do, and it's a great formula for any pitcher, you get ahead early on and then you expand the strike zone, and he's a master of that. Even right there, he got Suarez to chase a pitch that was down out of the zone. Now ahead 1 ball on 2 strikes. Look for him to really start make Suarez chase.
1-2. Fouled back.
Hung a little changeup right there for him.
And when Suarez is going bad, we've seen him chase, particularly that low outside pitch, which pitchers were eating him alive with. Struggled mightily, but has since snapped out of it. He's hit safely in 5 of his last 6 appearances. 1-2 pitch again. Swing and a miss. Garcia strands 2. The Reds get 1. Trail by 2. The Cincinnati Reds. Duvall, Hamilton, Bruce around the outfield. Suarez, Cozart, Phillips, and Votto in the infield. Battery of Barnhart and Simon. As Simon will go to work here in the second. He'll face Yadier Molina to lead off for St. Louis. First pitch outside. Molina steps in with a .256 average. Just 1 home run this season. 21 runs driven in. Left center field. Hit well. Hamilton chasing up against the wall. And Molina will stroll into second base with his 13th double of the season.
Well, you called it right with Molina strolling into second base. I think when that ball came off the bat, he had a inclination that it was going to be a long ball and a home run. He stood his home plate, watched it a while, and then jogged a little bit to first base, only to see it land on the warning track. I mean, he gets a whole bunch of this one.
Did take a long view at it.
Of course, he's not going to third base on it anyway.
No.
So Yadier has always been a guy that'll conserve his energy when necessary.
Randall Grichuk. Molina at second base. The Cardinals were hoping for more out of Randall Grichuk. Still a lot of season left. But they were really hoping for more than a .215 average at this point. Does have 7 home runs. The Cardinals can certainly play long ball. We got 76 home runs. They came in last night as the leader in the National League. Now the Mets and Nationals with 77 are tied for the top spot. But St. Louis just 1 behind with 76 home runs. Swing and a miss by Grichuk. 77 now, excuse me. It helps if you count that first inning home run by Matt Adams.
Easy to forget.
Yeah, you want to forget it.
And why not? Really good pitch right here. When you get ahead of the hitter, you want to bury that slider, make it look like it's a strike coming out of your hand, bouncing it in the dirt. Barnhart down to block it. Grichuk chases.
And now the pitcher, Jaime Garcia, and don't sleep on this guy. 4 hits and 14 plate appearances this season.
He's kind of done it all at the plate this year. He's got 4 sacrifice bunts. And really, basically, Jaime Garcia is just a very good baseball player when healthy. He's had the problem of being able to stay on the field.
0-1 from Simon. Outside, 1-1. Foul back, 1-2. Garcia amongst the leaders in the National League batting average for a pitcher. Oh, we've seen Liriano swinging. One-two. Fly ball center field. Easy play for Hamilton. 2 outs. Follow Cincinnati Reds baseball live with the MLB.com @bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day, live video, highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com @bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. Matt Carpenter steps in for the 2nd time. Walked to lead off the game and scored on Adams' 3-run bomb. Carpenter without the glasses this time. One ball, 1 strike to the Cardinals' second baseman. Out of play. 1-2.
Who's got the net? Is that Jamie Ramsey or is that the seg man, Bill Dennison?
That would be Jamie Ramsey's screen left. Seg Dennison in the middle. That's Jamie.
Ramsey, the butterfly catcher.
There's the seg man in the middle. They obviously don't have enough to do in their work schedule today.
Well, Jamie does certainly when he writes it at it's Better Off Red, one of the finest MLB blogs you're ever going to find out there following Reds baseball. Good stuff.
2-2 pitch. Carpenter rips one into the right field corner. This will get a run home. RBI double. Matt Carpenter. Team leading 39th run driven in. And the Cardinals get that run back.
For a left-handed hitter, Carpenter is very adept at hitting the high pitch, and Simon just hangs a breaking ball. It just kind of rolls right up there. The second pitch in a row, actually, that Simon threw up above the waist to Matt Carpenter. Well, last night lacing a double down the left field line that tied the game up. This time getting it down the right field line on a slow pitch that he got the head out on.
19th double of the season for Carpenter. Ties him for the National League lead. And he led the National League in doubles 2015 and 2013. A doubles machine. Diaz rounded to third for the 3rd out. The Cardinals get a run back and lead 4-1.
Elk storyline. Tonight's storyline is presented by Elk and Elk. Notable Reds selected in the first round of the draft. There you see him. Of course, why? Tomorrow night is the amateur draft, and the Reds had the #2 pick. So higher than Bailey, Bruce, Mesoraco, and Stevenson. Of course, Finnegan drafted by Kansas City with the 17th pick. Very important for the Reds tomorrow night. How will they go? Well, we shall see tomorrow night. About 7:20, the Reds should get their pick. Of course, the highest of those picks, Homer Bailey's 7th pick back in 2004, guys.
Going to be a roll of the dice. There's no bona fide 1, 2, or 3 in this draft if you listen to the experts in such categories.
Well, let's hope it's loaded dice, because anytime you get the top 3 out there, the expectations of the fans are such that you're going to get a player that will eventually get to the major leagues, and not only get to the major leagues, but will give you the kind of performance at the major league level that you will have him through his at least years of free agency if you decide not to sign him. Calculations done by one agency that I talked to, and we were out in Los Angeles, said that if you can get a guy out of the draft and he plays 6 years in the major leagues for you, it'll save the ball club $80 million.
Clean base hit left field. Billy Hamilton, he hit that ball hard, hitting from his preferred right-hand side. And tell you what, Billy's coming on, Chris.
It used to be that Billy would really long for those days that he would face a left-hander and be able to hit right-handed. But he's hitting the ball so well left-handed, really to the same side of the field, slashing it to left field, this time pulling it to left field. And again, hard stuff early in the count from Garcia. Does not look like we have Jaime Garcia tonight on a night where he's really hitting his spots. Looks like it might be a battle for him.
Let's hope it is. As Tucker Barnhart stands in for night off last night. Hamilton, from where he started, his average now up to 268 after a 3-for-4 night last night, a home run. Now a single here in his first plate appearance. Really starting to show signs the Reds have been looking for. This one, a seeing eye single. Hamilton will stop at second base, so the first 2 reach. Reds got something cooking here in the second.
One of the things about Jaime Garcia is that he gets more ground balls than any pitcher in the National League. So he lives by the ground ball and sometimes dies by the ground ball when it does not go to a fielder that can get his glove on it.
And now the pitcher, Alfredo Simon.
Not only is he highest in MLB, but he is about 5 points higher than the second best ground ball pitcher, which would be Jake Arrieta.
See if Simon can get a bunt down, get those runners over. Three sacrifice bunts on the season, hoping to make it 4. Garcia's missed on the first 2 pitches.
And Simon's doing a good job, because one of the big failings of a pitcher when he comes to the plate and tries to lay a bunt down is that he treats it as a suicide, and they bunt at every pitch up there. Get yourself a good strike.
Billy going, throw down to third, not in time. First and third situation. Stolen base number 16 on the season for Hamilton.
Well, Garcia is so concerned with throwing a strike to Simon, he forgot all about Billy Hamilton.
And that last pitch was a strike, so a 2-1 count to Simon. Now we'll really see what happens with Hamilton at third and Simon still bunting. 3-1. This has to be a nightmare situation for an infielder. So he wants to lay down a bunt to at least get Barnhart to second. You got to think about getting the out of Simon at first, but you got to keep your eye on Hamilton as well. And he walked Simon. A free pass by Jaime Garcia.
Yeah, this will be a very interesting at bat here with Zach Cozart coming up. We've seen him very aggressive early in the count. Likes to get up there and hunt the fastball. And right now, with the way that Garcia is having a hard time throwing the ball where he wants to, he may succeed in getting the fastball that he's looking for.
Still nobody out. It's trying to chew into that 4-1 Cardinals lead. Inside. Bases loaded, nobody out. Zach trying to get one to drive. And he gets one just past the shortstop. This will score one. They're going to hold Barnhart at third. So Cozart delivers the RBI single. Still bases loaded, nobody out.
Well, on a 1-0 count, he does get a pitch, and boy, that's just about belt high. Hits it hard, but on the ground. And with the infield in a step at double play depth, he runs it by the shortstop. And right now, Jaime Garcia is having one heck of a time trying to get outs. It took him 6 batters in the first inning to get 3 outs. He has nobody out here in this inning, and he's already faced 4 batters. So he's faced 10 batters in his ball game with a total of 3 outs.
Votto already with a double to his credit in the first, and he scored.
I'm looking to Votto be aggressive right here.
2 grand slams in his career. Off speed pitch. Takes it for ball 1. You know those overall numbers aren't there. But you'll take a 341 average with runners in scoring position any day of the week. Garcia working from the full windup. Still continuing to struggle to find his spot.
He looks a little nervous out there. I mean, just kind of his body mannerisms, the actions that he's taking between pitches, kind of twitching a little bit more than normal. And why not? Bases loaded, nobody out, 2-0 count. Votto at the plate.
He's going to work from the stretch. Two balls, 1 strike.
I think Joey'd like to have that one back.
And the 2-1. Garcia has yielded only 3 home runs over 271 total batters coming into tonight's game.
And none left-handed.
Up the middle, base hit. Barnhart scores. They're going to stop Simon at third. So back-to-back RBI singles for the Reds. We've got a ball game.
Well, another 2-strike base hit for Joey Votto. His double in the first inning came on an 0-2 count. Here the count is 2-2. And Garcia flips up a breaking ball, and Votto waits back nicely, swats it into center field. That's just good hitting.
4 hits in the inning for the Reds. And they've climbed within 1.
And Garcia's got to be thinking, how close have I been to get out of this inning? Ground ball that goes right by the third baseman, ground ball that goes right by the shortstop. Either of those could have been a double play ball if they were a foot one way or the other.
Now Phillips. Still nobody out. Action already in the Cardinals pen as Matt Bowman is up and throwing. One ball, one strike to the Reds second baseman. Coming in, Phillips, a .313 hitter off of Garcia in his career. After a ground out in the first, now 15 for 49 overall. A couple of home runs, 4 doubles, has driven in 11. Votto and Phillips have had their success against Garcia. No outs in the second, and Garcia's already thrown 32 pitches. And the 2-1. Foul.
I mean, Garcia tonight is just not getting any swings and misses at all. Now, he is a contact pitcher. He likes to get the ball to be hit on the ground, uses defense behind him. But I mean, the Reds are hitting just about everything he throws up there. He's faced 11 batters now in this ball game. He's only retired 3.
Ground ball, could be 2. Nope, they're going to come home and get the force out of Simon. The first out of the second recorded. That'll bring up Jay Bruce, and he's the subject of tonight's IGS Bringing the Energy. Most home runs by a left-handed batter off of left-handed pitchers since 2010, and Jay Bruce far and away the leader. Robinson, Cano, Granderson, Ortiz, Gonzalez all looking up at Jay Bruce. Boy, he'd like to put a charge into one right here. Deep enough fly ball to the outfield will tie up this game. Still 1 out. Bruce does have a home run in his career off of Garcia. Two 2-0. Garcia came in pitching well last 2 starts, over 12 innings, 4 runs, 7 strikeouts. Here's the hitter's count, 2-0. Check swing and a strike.
They've been the best breaking ball of the night that Jaime Garcia has thrown to a Reds hitter. He is just trying to survive right now.
The 2-1. Lead off, 1 down low, 3-1.
That looked like a cross up right there, the way that Yadier Molina caught that ball. Then he calls timeout from the home plate umpire, and he's going to go out and talk to him again.
It didn't look like Molina was looking for the breaking ball.
You know, in a situation like this, a lot of pitching coaches will tell you, pick your best pitch, take a little bit off, and throw it for a strike.
Nowhere to put Bruce. 3-1. Ripped right at Adams.
Oh, if Adams had been thinking other than trying to get Brandon Phillips at first, he would have had a clean shot at Votto at second base. That ball, a bullet. In fact, I think that ball found the first baseman rather than the other way around.
Adams didn't even have to take a step. That ball was smoked.
Adams trying to catch Brandon Phillips like an offensive tackle, trying to run down a wide receiver.
That's a big out in this game right there. Unless Adam Duvall can come through with 2 outs. 2 runs in here in the second.
Now Duvall jumped on the first pitch that he saw. Lined a single to left field.
Now the catcher and pitcher are going to talk it over again. That's what you like to see right there. We're assuming mom and dad and kids. First pitch to Duvall. Gets away, but not far enough for anyone to advance. Garcia laboring here in the second. 27 pitch inning so far. Side 2-0. Ripped but right at the shortstop. So back to back really hard hit balls. But Adam balls. The Reds get 2. These teams like the home cooking. Cardinals 151 runs scored at Busch Stadium 3. The Reds now 3 runs on the board, 150 here at GABP. Matt Adams, second at bat, and Alfredo Simon hopes it's not the same as the first. 3-run home run in the first is the big difference in this game so far. Two balls, no strikes. Reds trying for their 3rd straight series victory. To Adams. And it was a tough road to hoe to even win a series. 12 straight series without a series win. He's now trying for 3 straight. They have 2 chances to do it tonight, tomorrow night. Adams, another long one. Foul. Two balls, 2 strikes. Adams needs some new lumber. See Chris Maloney in the shot. He's the 3rd base coach for the Cardinals. Now we're used to seeing Jose Oquendo down there, who had knee surgery and might miss the entire season. Maloney was the 1st base coach. Oquendo's in there. Now manning 3rd. Bill Mueller over there at 1st.
Now the coach they brought up to take the place of Jose Oquendo is the assistant hitting coach Derek May. The story about him as it relates to the Reds going way back.
Sky ball. Will it stay in play? Votto got it. 1 out. And that story would be?
Well, there was a time when Derek May was playing with the Houston Astros, and the Reds had a big brawl that day with the Astros, and Derek May is just a huge human being. I mean, if you look like a coach that belongs on the offensive line for the Bengals, it would be Derek May. And he ended up coming in as a pinch hitter in that ball game against Kevin Jarvis and hitting a grand slam. We had a little quick conversation about that before the game today. Very nice man, Derek May, up here for the rest of the year as they had a chance to bring up another coach and rewarded Derek May.
Piscotty 0 for 1 in the game. Struck out looking in the first. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, look forward to our Miller time moment later in tonight's game. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Good night to have a cold one. Tell you what, the weather of the last 2 days here in Cincinnati, dare I say, perfect.
Well, sometimes a cold one makes an imperfect night a perfect one.
Yeah, you can chase away the rain clouds as well. The cold one, time or two.
It's a good momentum inning for Alfredo Simon after his team came right back and scored a 2 spot to make it a 1-run game. He'd love to go through here 1, 2, 3. But he, just like his counterpart Jaime Garcia, just looks just a little off as far as his control tonight. I mean, he just bounced the fastball, and you can bounce a breaking ball, but you don't see too many bounce fastballs. There's a slider, and he did not go.
When Simon is on, can you tell early if the sinker is working? Is that the key?
Well, it's hard to tell because you need more than one pitch working. But, you know, when he's on, he's throwing, and we've seen it in the past when he had his big start year with the Reds a couple of years ago. You know, he used that fastball a lot, and it was up around 94, sometimes even 95 miles an hour. But that splitter tonight is the one that he's still having a hard time getting the feel of.
2-2. Swing and a miss. And Piscotty struck out for the second time tonight. 2 down here in the third.
Here's another fastball that just gets away from Simon, down and away. I mean, he had 2 pitches in that at bat. Pitch number 4 and pitch number 6 that nearly hit home plate. Piscotty swings at that one.
Cardinal fans in the stands tonight. There in left field as they watch Johnny Peralta step in for the second time. Grounded out in the first. Peralta, the second game back from after being activated from the disabled list yesterday. Out all season with a fractured left thumb. And he came back in fine fashion last night. A 2 for 4 night. 2 doubles and 2 runs driven in. A 1-0. Peralta's back as a third baseman. He was your starting shortstop the All-Star game here last year at short. But with the emergence of Aledmys Diaz and them not wanting to disrupt that situation, Peralta comes back at third, and he was quoted recently as saying, I'm getting up there in age and I got to realize that third base is probably my future, whether it be with the Cardinals or anyone else. Two balls, 2 strikes. 3-2. Peralta now 34 years of age. He is signed through 2018. Hailing from Santiago, Dominican Republic. Upstairs, and the third walk of the game by Alfredo Simon. Brandon Moss with 1 aboard, 2 down. Moss, 32 years of age, from Monroe, Georgia. Became a Cardinal in trade. Left-handed pitcher Rob Kaminsky, July of last year. Leading this Cardinal team with 11 home runs, as we talked about. Top of the National League in home runs hit. But not this time, as Duvall squeezes the 3rd out. Simon strands 1. The Cardinals still lead.
Baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Last night, a good night for the home teams. 5 walk-off hits last night. That's the most in Major League Baseball this season. Joey Votto, of course, had solo home run of the night to defeat St. Louis. Brian Dozier, a 2-run homer in the 11th to defeat Miami for the Twinkies. Trace Thompson of the Dodgers, a solo homer in the 9th, defeats Colorado. He hopes his brother does the same tonight. The Detroit Tigers, Ian Kinsler, an RBI single the 10th to beat Toronto. And Will Myers of the Padres, an RBI single the 9th to beat Atlanta. Jim, Chris?
Interesting night. Nothing better than those walk-off hits or home runs. I gotta tell you, I'm still trying to figure out what Votto was doing, looking at his hand coming to score at home last night. I'm not sure anyone asked him about it. I didn't have a chance to see him today.
We all know. If there's anyone
now, come on,
get that information out of Joey Votto, it would be you, Jim.
Yeah. Did Tom Brenneman sneak back in this booth?
Well, we got a good report on Tom Brenneman. The surgery went well. He is on his way to recovery and doing quite well. So we continue to wish him good luck as he's on his way back.
No question about that. Thinking about you, Tommy. Suarez goes down swinging. 2nd strikeout of the night for Garcia, both against Suarez.
He throws the fastball right by Eugenio Suarez right here, and if you look at the radar gun, it's 86 miles an hour. I was surprised to see that because it just seemed like it was quicker than that. Garcia has a very abbreviated arm swing. He gets it out of the glove. It almost throws like a left-handed catcher out there. Very, very quick. Gets it up behind his left ear very quick. Really doesn't even get the ball down below his waist. You'll see by contrast how long of an arm swing that Alfredo Simon has when he gets up on the mound.
Billy Hamilton singled in the 2nd and scored on Zach Cozart's RBI single. Also stole a base, his 16th of the year. To Billy. In there for a strike. Two-one. Billy with the bunt. Just got it. Garcia coming off that mound nicely. Was able to get the 1-3 put out on the bunt. For Reds home run hits the Toyota sign during tonight's game. James Vibard from Mason, Ohio will win this beautiful new Tundra. Register for your chance to win an upcoming game by seeing your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. Tucker Barnhart singled in the 2nd and scored. Cardinals got 3 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd. Reds 1 in the 1st and 2 in the 2nd. 4-3 Cardinals advantage here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd. Hello, John Tomer. There in left field. How are we looking? We have some of the best camera operators in the game. That camera particularly, you know those shots you see when someone hits a home run and they follow that ball clear into the stands? That is coming from that camera. And let me tell you how hard it is to keep the ball in frame.
Have you tried that?
Yes.
I have not even tried
It's
it.
impossible.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say impossible because these guys pull it off every night. It is extremely difficult. Because you have to, I would assume, not look through the viewfinder the whole time. You've got to catch the ball with your naked eye and then catch up to it with the camera. Barnhart, 2 for 2.
Well, Barnhart is just wearing out Ledman's Diaz. He hit a ground ball to his left the first time up. This time it goes to his right, and both times seeing eye base hits. So Tucker 2 for 2.
And now the big pasta. 2 outs, will be swinging away. Alfredo 1 hit on the season. 1 for 13.
Boy, if anybody could ever use an easy inning, it would be Jaime Garcia right here. He has struggled through the first 2. He is on pitch number 56 coming up, and here he is not even out of the 3rd inning yet. I imagine that they may have had a conversation with Simon. Now, I'm wrong about that. I thought they'd make him take a pitch.
Diaz with the play, and the Cardinals maintain their lead. We'd like to wish a happy 93rd birthday to Ben Holthaus of McCartyville, Ohio. Happy 93rd. God bless you. McCartyville is about 2 hours north of Cincinnati. Now listen to this. Ben has 17 children, 36 grandchildren, and 58 great-grandchildren. Mercy.
That's a whole town.
That's a lot of work. That might be all of McCartyville. Not sure of the population.
They want to change that name to Holthausville.
58 great-grandchildren. Tell you
mean,
what, I bet Father's Day is big around the old house.
It'd take him 3 weeks just to open all the presents.
58. I mean, do you think he remembers all 58 names? I mean, honest to goodness. As I said, God bless you. Happy birthday. 3 balls, 1 strike. Count the Cardinals catcher. We've gone full 3 and 2. The 3-1 pitch. Right at Phillips. Scoops it. Throws on to Votto. Route number 1. Now Randall Grichuk looking for his first hit of the series. 0 for 3 last night in a walk and struck out his first time up tonight in the 2nd. Big righty bringing it.
Grichuk is one of those guys who was a 1st-round draft pick, but not by the Cardinals, by the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim in 2009. He got traded over here to the Cardinals. And that trade that sent David Freese the other way. Peter Burgess, who is now with the Phillies, went along with that deal. He came over to the Cardinals in exchange for David Freese and Fernando Salas. Salas is still with the Angels. Of course, David Freese now with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Grichuk, born in Rosenberg, Texas. Turned 29 in August. Excuse me, 25 in August. Two-one pitch. 3 balls, 1 strike. Randall Grichuk, famous for homering in his first postseason plate appearance. A solo shot in Game 1 of the 2014 NLDS off of Clayton Kershaw. And Simon walks his 4th batter of the night. Cheer on your Redlegs when they take on the Oakland A's this weekend and save with the 4 for $48 ticket offer. Thanks to Reach Magazine, you can get 4 view level tickets plus 4 Reds hats for only $48. 513-381 tickets or visit Reds.com. That would be 513-381 Reds. That phone number. Jaime Garcia squaring around the bunt, gets it down, rolls foul. Nice to see spring arrive, by the way. We went right from winter, had about a week of spring, into summer.
Well, we're going to get summer this Saturday.
Oh, we are indeed. We'll enjoy this for the moment.
That's good form at the plate by Jaime Garcia. The first thing he does, which is what every pitcher who's supposed to sacrifice should do, which is move up way to the front of the batter's box. And then he crouches down, holds the bat at the very top of the strike zone. And as he lowers the bat, he lowers it by bending his knees rather than jabbing at it with the bat.
Tried again. Popped up. Backing out of play. One and 2. So with 2 strikes, you got a pitcher that could swing it a little bit. Well, Matheny still put on the bunt here.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him put on a hit and run right here. Steele just figuring that Garcia is going to put the ball in play. Now he's going to let him bunt. I shouldn't really call it a hit and run. It would be more of a run and hit where you're going to try to steal Grichuk, but figuring that Garcia would probably be able to put the ball in play somewhere even on a 2-strike count.
Two and 2. He'll square around again. Gets it down right back to Simon. And gets the job done. Sacrifice 1-3.
Take another look at the form of Jaime Garcia. I mean, you know, he's just perfect form because you've got the angle on the bat. He did drop the bat head on that, but he was able to follow the breaking ball all the way in. His 5th sacrifice of the year.
And with 2 outs, we'll see if Simon can retire Carpenter for the first time tonight. Walked and scored in the first. RBI double in the second. Almost hit him. Carpenter with that big 2 RBI double in the 9th last night, as the Cardinals came back from a 5-run deficit to tie it up in the 9th, only to see Joey Votto walk them off with a home run. 1-0 to Carpenter. 2 balls, no strikes. Just under a 300 hitter with runners in scoring position this season. 3-0. Simon does have an open base at first with Aledmys Diaz on deck. Three and one.
Well, how about a 3-0 split finger fastball? Now you do have a base open. Ball had a lot of bite on it. Now he just does not want to seem to throw Matt Carpenter a fastball here. And another one. That was a good old-fashioned pitch around.
He wanted no part of Carpenter right there.
And that's 5 walks on the night for Simon. And you know, sometimes you have a strategic walk, and that's probably one of those right there. Feels a lot better going after Aledmys Diaz than he does Matt Carpenter. But we're looking at 80 pitches already for Alfredo Simon, so it's definitely going to be a bullpen game. And Simon will not be giving what the Reds really need, which is another starting pitcher going deep into a ball game.
2 on for Aledmys Diaz. That 5th walk, and we're only in the 4th. Matches Simon's most with the Reds. Last time he did it was back in 2014. His career high is 6 walks in a game. He did that with the Orioles back in 2011. Simon with a long look in. And now time.
Well, what they're trying to do with Diaz is simply keep the ball away from him. He's very quick on an inside fastball. And when he does swing and miss, you know, he's getting very aggressive because he gets a feel of some home run balls. He wants to hit more and more. And he'll chase that pitch away once you get 2 strikes on him. He has been one of those extremely pleasant surprises for the Cardinals this year.
25 years of age. Hailing from Cuba. Right at Zach Kozar. Force out at second. Simon dances around 2 walks.
Over the Reds 4-3. I am Jeff Piccoro, and today was the final day of extended spring training out in Goodyear, Arizona. Good news for the Reds. They got a couple of pitchers some work today. Most notably 2 that are going to be coming back to Cincinnati. Raisel Iglesias pitched 2/3 of an inning. Michael Lorenzen 1 1/3. Brian Price expects both of those players to join the Reds before the end of this month. So all thumbs up for today, and we'll have to see what happens next for them. This extended spring training is now over, guys.
And the good news there is they don't have to stretch those guys out to start. Both considered starting pitchers, even perhaps in the future, as Kozar lays into one. Deep left center field and gone. Home run number 9 for Zach. And we're all tied up at 4.
Well, 2 hits already on the night for Zach Kozar. Again, a fastball, 88 miles an hour. You can see the sink on it. But Kozar negotiates it perfectly and rides it right on out of here. Hits the top of the fence and bounces out.
So we start anew, tied at 4. And that's that camera shot I'm talking about. You know how hard it is to keep that ball in frame? How about you, John Tomer? Come on with it now. Got to give our crew some love. Strick up here, keeping the ball in frame up here behind home plate. Votto, 2 strikes, really choking up here. Down in that crouch, Chris, and that is a tough road to hoe right there.
We haven't really seen him be very successful when he gets down in that crouch, and haven't talked to Joey about it personally, but talked a little bit to Don Long about it, and I think he gets down there when he's not really feeling comfortable about seeing the ball straight up. And Garcia drops a curveball in there and gets a strikeout. So Votto, with a couple of hits, goes down on the punch out.
So with one down, Brandon Phillips trying to improve on that 10-game hitting streak. 0 for 2 so far. Rounded out, reached on a fielder's choice in the second.
Rare curveball right there for Jaime Garcia at 66 miles an hour.
Out back.
Back to back. That's one. That's right out of the John Lamb playbook right there. You know, Alfredo Simon will also feature occasionally a real slow curve, almost called an ephus speed.
He doesn't like that ephus term. You say, hey, tell me about that ephus pitch. He says, that's the split. Split finger. Moonshot. Right fielder Piscotty gloves it. 2 down. Getting back to Lorenzen and Iglesias. Neither of those guys have to be stretched out as starters because Brian Price has said both will be in the bullpen. So you stretch them out 2 or 3 innings. That's why we're going to see him here. Barring anything unforeseen, Brian Price says sometime this month.
Well, it doesn't mean they're shutting down the entire operation out there in Arizona,
right,
just because the extended spring is over.
Yeah.
Next week they will have a mini camp for those players that the Reds will draft this week in the amateur draft, and they are able to get them signed. They'll send them out there to kind of evaluate them once you get them all together, and then from there send them off to. Many of them will go to Billings, which is a summer A program, which is a 3-month league.
Bruce to right field, off the wall. He might try for 3. Nope. Stand up double. So Jay Bruce with the 2-out twin bagger. His 12th double of the season.
Well, a breaking ball that hangs on the lower inside part of the plate, always dangerous, and that ball hit the top of the wall, and
woo, that came close to getting out.
A couple of inches from being out of here.
So Bruce with a laser shot into right. And now Adam Duvall with 1 sitting out there, 2 down, and a tie game.
That is the 10th hit tonight for the Reds. Garcia has walked 1. It was the opposing pitcher Alfredo Simon in the second.
And this coming against a guy, Garcia has 10-4 record and 17 career starts versus Cincinnati. Those 10 wins are tied with Oliver Perez for the most among active pitchers against Cincinnati.
Well, Garcia has now thrown 67 pitches, and I got to figure that 60 of those pitches have been thrown out of stretch position.
Yeah. One 0 to Duvall. Rip but foul. One pitch from Garcia. In the air, shallow right field. Scotty got it for the 3rd out. Not before Zach Cozart ties this game up. Home run number 9 on the season for the Reds shortstop. Gorgeous shot from northern Kentucky, looking back across the Ohio River into downtown Cincinnati. Great American ballpark. Top of the fifth, tied at 4. Simon versus Matt Adams. I always remember Matt Adams back in 2013. Remember when he hit 2 home runs late, and I mean late, became the first person in Major League Baseball history to hit 2 home runs in the 14th inning or later. September 4th here in Cincinnati. Home run in the 14th inning and the 16th inning. That was a long night. A bit of a flair for the dramatic. He and Brian Jordan are the only 2 players in Cardinals history to hit 2 go-ahead home runs in the 7th inning or later during the same postseason. 2014 he did it. Divisional series game 4, league championship series in game 2. The big fella can lay into one when he squares it up. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It always seems like Matt Adams saves the best for the Reds. He's hit more home runs against the Reds than any other ball club. He's driven more in against the Reds than any other ball club except the Milwaukee Brewers. On base percentage against the Reds up around 400. And a lot of long balls.
2-2.
Jam shot.
Charging Billy, diving, got it. Billy Hamilton. Let's hope he's okay. We've seen Billy get hurt a couple of times diving after balls.
Well, he plays with reckless abandon, Billy Hamilton does, whether it means running into the wall, trying to flag down a mistake, or coming in and diving to catch a ball that's dying in front of him. A hard knock on the ground and then a somersault to right himself.
He had his shoulder surgically repaired in the offseason, but it was his throwing shoulder. Came down on his left shoulder.
That's the kind of dive right there that injures a player's glove shoulder, where you end up diving and you end up completely outstretched with your glove, you know, as far away from your body as can be, and you land on that shoulder. And that's where you get those opposite of your throwing arm labrum tears.
Ground ball to Suarez to have it bounce in front of him, and a nice pick by Votto on the other end. Suarez continues to have problems throwing the baseball.
Now, that was a tough play by Suarez because he wasn't sure whether to charge or not. He started to charge and realized he wasn't going to get there, and then also realized he was going to have to get rid of the ball quickly. So Votto goes down, scoops it, saves Suarez an error, and quickly 2 out in the 5th.
Nice play by the Reds first baseman. 2 up, 2 down here in the 5th, and now Peralta. Reds would love to see Simon get a quick out here and at least get him into the 6th. Pitch count getting up there. Crush job into left field. Cut off by Duvall. Peralta thought about second base, but a nice play by Adam Duvall, holding Peralta to a single.
I'll tell you, a very nice play by Duvall, because I thought really coming out of the batter's box, Peralta thought it was a double 2. A little splitter that he gets up in the air, ripped down the line, and Duvall getting over there in a hurry.
Tell you what, he's played a nice left field.
Brian Price talked about that, you know, going down the line. Where does he expect Adam Duvall to end up? Because he's played a lot of third base in the minor leagues. He was a shortstop in high school, played a shortstop for a while there at University of Louisville. He can play first base as well. And Brian essentially said it's just too early to pigeonhole him into one position only. Right now the Reds need obviously a spot in left field, and that's where he's been. Oh, and Suarez was in a deep slump. He came in and played third base a couple of nights.
Well, on this roster right now, let's assume, we don't know anything, but if Jay Bruce is traded, there's not an heir apparent in right field. You do have Jesse Winker coming up in the system. Many say that he is a left fielder. Could Adam Duvall make the switch to right field? He's got a good enough arm, but he's played on the left side his career, whether it be in the infield or the outfield, and it's a whole different ball game when that ball's coming off the other side.
Well, I think you wait until you find somebody good enough to move him out of left field. When that happens, then you make the decision. But until that time, if he continues to swing the bat the way he is,
see you later. Bruce just turns and looks up. That one way up into the moon deck. Brandon Moss, 2-run home run. His Cardinal leading 12th home run of the season, and St. Louis retakes the lead.
A little bit of a splitter. It looked like it could have been a slider. I guess it was a slider there, and it just kind of hung right up around waist high. And Brandon Moss, boy, does he give that one a ride.
That ball was crushed. 426 feet.
Fredo Simon, you retire the first two batters. Good defense by the Reds on the catch by Hamilton, the play by Suarez and Votto. You got quick 2 outs, and then a double and a home run. All of a sudden you're back down by 2.
A hitter's night so far at GABP. That one off the leg of Molina.
You mentioned last night the new tattoo that Yadier Molina has been showing on the right side of his neck, and did a little investigating on that, and he's got his own music label. It's his hobby. Some people, he says, play golf. Other people, like himself, enjoy music, and he started up his own music label. And I think those are variations of musical notes, as you see right there, surrounded by stars.
Fisted into right field for a hit. So what type of music does he produce?
That I couldn't tell you.
We're gonna have to get Joel Luck up on the scene. And is it Molina Records? Is that what it's called? Molina Records. Here comes Mark Riggins, pitching coach for Cincinnati. We'll have a visit with Simon.
Well, whatever kind of music it is, I imagine if we can find it on iTunes somewhere, maybe we can download it and gift it off to our good buddy Marty Brenneman, who's a huge music fan, and I'm sure he would love to have a little Molina music on his iPad.
I think Marty's favorite group is the Beach Boys. Do you think Yadier Molina listens to much Beach Boys?
Right in the same genre, I'm sure.
Right in the wheelhouse? Well, Joel's got something called up on the computer here, and it doesn't look anything like the Beach Boys. Something a little psychedelic, maybe a little rap involved. Certainly progressive. Randall Grichuk, right center field. This one will go all the way to the wall. Molina will be held up at third. And a 2-out double. Randall Grichuk.
Yeah, the bad news is it's a 2-out double after a 2-out single. But the good news is for the Reds, and Molina's one of the slower runners in the league, and he's not going to score on that. And now you have the pitcher coming up in the number 9 spot. That ball hit hard by Grichuk. Good job by Hamilton to get it back in before they would wave in Molina.
Well, obviously not Alfredo Simon's night. 102 pitches here, 2 outs in the 5th. And Garcia is going to be hacking. Josh Smith warming up in the pen for Cincinnati. All right, Simon's got to get the pitcher here. One ball, one strike. Ten runs scored in this game, only in the 5th. It's been a hitter's kind of series so far. 7-6 victory by Cincinnati last night. A 6-4 score so far here this evening. Simon wanting a new baseball. Another long look in. 1-2. Rounded right at Phillips. Simon records the 3rd out, but the Cardinals behind Brandon Moss's home run retake the lead.
Leaguers in each league for the National League. A nice return from Tommy John surgery for Jose Fernandez. He's got 110 strikeouts for the Marlins. And over in the American League, Chris Archer for the Rays, 88 strikeouts. Reds coming to bat in the bottom of the 5th inning, down 6-4, and catch the Reds action this Friday when they take on the A's for only $12. Be one of the first 40,000 fans in attendance. You'll receive a Suarez oversized baseball card. Thanks to Top. For tickets, call 513-381-REDS or visit Reds.com. And of course, Eugenio Suarez, Jimmy Chris, is your first batter this inning. Back upstairs.
Gino, as they call him, will step in. Has struck out twice tonight. And let's hope he doesn't start that strikeout binge again. He went on one earlier this season. But to his credit, when he was going through that massive struggle, massive slump, you couldn't tell being around him. Happy-go-lucky guy. Now, after the game a little bit, he'd be mad. But overall, pretty even-keeled guy. One thing I do know, those errors that he's committed so far this year, that's eating him up the most. This one hit pretty well into right center field, but not far enough as Piscotty runs it down on the track. Out number 1. Now Billy Hamilton. Jaime Garcia, the 5th inning of work. Mexico native. To high school at Cherryland High School in Texas. And had to sit out his senior season in Mission, Texas. Because he was too old then.
Well, he was raised right on the border.
Yeah.
Born in Mexico, as you said. And so the Baltimore Orioles drafted him after his senior year. But due to a poorly translated test that the Orioles gave their players, they decided not to sign him. That's a forced error.
Goes into the camera well, bounces back out, and Hamilton's going to be awarded second. And indeed, speed caused that, no question about it.
Well, you know you've got to rush, so here comes Diaz running in, grabs it barehanded, and just throws it wild. Would have been bang bang even if it was right on the money.
That is the 13th error committed by Diaz this season.
Really, you can put Diaz and Suarez in the same bucket for that matter, as far as young players with great offensive potential who are going to get better. Look at Billy Hamilton. Oh.
Billy was trying
by Garcia.
The sneak job right there. And the caught stealing, trying to catch Garcia sleeping.
Well, Garcia's looking in there. He's kind of pawing at the rubber, and Hamilton is taken off. But Garcia does the right thing. Somebody in the infield yelled, "Step off," instead of "there he goes." But of course, even with his foot on the rubber there, he could have turned and thrown directly to third base because there was a play being made at the bag. It would not have been a violation of balk by throwing to an unoccupied base.
Well, that is a big out. The Reds trailing by 2 and now 2 outs in the inning. Right in the face. It was a hard tag right there. We've seen Billy get beaten up on many slides this season.
Actually, a smart tag by the third baseman Peralta. You know, the slide that Matt Carpenter put on Suarez last night, where he faked with one arm and came around with the other and reached the back of the bag, and they ended up reviewing the play. They initially called him safe and then rang him up upon review when they reversed the call. But Peralta got him out in front of the bag before he was able to even get any of his hands near that bag. That's where nowadays that review is so important to put the tag on.
Tucker Barnhart deep to left field and out of here. Solo home run, the pride of Brownsburg, Indiana, and the Reds climb within 1.
I believe that's the second home run this year that Tucker has hit right-handed, and he just gets a pitch up. It looks like a changeup, and Garcia just hangs right up in the Barnhart wheelhouse.
And not only the second home run from the right-hand side this year, but the second one in his career. And I was surprised to hear that he said that's the second one, or the one he hit earlier, his first one, was his first from the right-hand side in all of professional baseball. He didn't even do it in the minors. And now Steve Selski will make his second at-bat in the bigs. Selski lays into one. Deep to center field. Off the glove of Piscotty. Steve Selski, first major league hit, and it's a double. You got to feel good for that kid. Get that ball aside.
Well, we saw a little bit of Steve Selski in spring training, and it's really hard to evaluate really in the month of March, not sure what he could give you, but the reports on him have been good. He hits it way over the head of the center fielder Grichuk, who has to go off the top of his glove. So congratulations, Steve Selski. Not only does he get his first major league hit, but he chases the Cardinal starter out of the game.
That's it for Jaime Garcia, as he'll take a seat. Steve Selski, a night he'll never forget. Game down by a run. Runner in scoring position, and now back to the top of the order for Zach Cozart. He will face the righty Matt Bowman. First pitch to Cozart on the outside corner for a strike.
Bowman is a 25-year-old right-hander that the Cardinals picked up in the Rule 5 draft last December. They got him off the Mets roster. Mets originally drafted him out of Princeton University in 2012.
A teammate of Ross Ollendorf. Actually, I should not say that. Many years apart, they both pitched at Princeton. Ross just slightly older.
Teammate in spirit.
In spirit. Bowman from 2010 to 2012 at Princeton. Ollendorf 2002 to 2004. Ross appreciates that. I just made him very much younger.
Well, Ross was a professor when Bowman was in school there.
And along with Kansas City's Chris Young, 3 active major leaguers who graduated from Princeton. And obviously, I did not go to Princeton.
And major in math.
Thank you. 1-2 pitch to Cozart. Swing and a miss. Bowman gets out of trouble. But tuck up on high. Goes Yad. The Reds climb within a run. Matt Adams, 3-run home run. Gave the Cardinals an early lead. Jay Bruce would get the Reds on the board. RBI hit, bloop variety. That one coming in the bottom of the first. Zach Cozart tied this game at 4. His 9th home run of the season came in the 4th. Brandon Moss nearly hit one out of the stadium. 426 feet, a 2-run shot. Gave the Cardinals a 2-run lead. Tucker Barnhart just hit a solo home run. So it's been an offensive kind of series. 11 runs between these two clubs tonight. 20 hits so far. We move on to the top of the 6th and the top of the order for the Cardinals. Matt Carpenter, and he'll go to work against Josh Smith.
It'll be a bullpen kind of game for both of these teams now. Josh Smith, who started 7 games for the Reds last year, coming in relief this year, game number 5 for Smith.
Check swing by Carpenter and foul. Carpenter's doubled in a run, and walked twice, scored a run. So throughout much of the season, the bullpen has been a struggle for Cincinnati, and this game is now theirs. After Alfredo Simon goes only 5, 6 runs, they were all earned. He walked 5, struck out 3, and gave up 2 home runs. Check swing, strike. Simon threw 106 pitches. And we will see if his future remains in the rotation or perhaps a move to the bullpen. There's going to be a lot of pitcher movement in that rotation and the bullpen in this month. Votto will take it himself for the first out. Coming off of a victory over rival Costa Rica, the United States looks to continue their winning ways and secure a spot in the knockout round when they square off against Paraguay. Saturday at 6 Eastern only on FS1, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. We'll be locked into that one just like Matt Sigafus. He'll be dialed in before he dials up the highlights. First pitch strike to Aledmus Diaz.
You know, Jim, you mentioned the fact that this pitching staff is going to come under some major change over the next couple of months. That fact is not lost on a pitcher like Josh Smith.
Nope.
After being in the organization his entire minor league career, 27 years old when he made his debut last year, 9 games overall, 7 starts.
He's had 0-2 on Diaz.
And he's essentially pitching for his major league life, because it'll come down when they start making some moves between, you know, Smith and guys like Daniel Wright, A.J. Morris, J.C. Ramirez.
Swing and a miss, and he gets Diaz.
Good looking slider right there. His fastball a tick harder tonight I've noticed out of Smith than what we've seen in the past. I thought it was only around 90 miles an hour when we saw him mostly last year. Good arm action and great location on that breaking ball.
So with 2 outs, here's Matt Adams. Robbed of a hit in the 5th. Nice diving catch by Billy Hamilton. But the biggest blow in this game in the 1st, a 3-run home run off of Alfredo Simon. Adams, moonball. Who wants it? Suarez calls off Barnhart, and a 1-2-3 inning for Josh Smith. Nicely done.
Game series, and that of course will be Brandon Finnegan against Adam Wainwright. Finnegan at 2-4 with a 3.82. Wainwright 5-4 with a 5.40. And guys, you're talking about starting pitching. How about this one? Let's head down to Syracuse. Louisville playing Syracuse. Cody Reed on the mound. It worked 7 good innings tonight. 3 earned, a walk, 6 strikeouts. He also went 1 for 3 with an RBI. They're leading 5-3 the bottom of the ninth. Jumbo Diaz in to try to close that out. By the way, Matt Belisle pitched an inning in that game for Syracuse as he tries to make his way back to the majors. Gentlemen,
Cody Reed is going to be a name, if he stays healthy, you'll hear a bunch about. He's one of the 3 lefties that came over in the Cueto trade from Kansas City last year. 2 of those other lefties in the Reds rotation right now, Finnegan and Lamb. New pitcher, and we saw him last night, Dean Kekeffer. On to face Joey Votto. Last night, Kekeffer worked 2/3 of an inning. No hits, no runs, walked a batter, struck out a batter. Right up the box. Kekeffer knocks it down and gets the out.
Kekeffer, one of those sidewinders that can pitch a long time in the major leagues if he figures out how to get left-handed hitters out.
Well, he struck out Votto last night in his first batter that he faced. Just got him on the 1-3 comebacker. Intentionally walked Phillips last night to get to Jay Bruce and got Jay Bruce to fly out. Got the Cardinals out of trouble. That was a 2-run 7th inning last night. Those 2 runs were charged to Mike Leake, who in his return to Cincinnati gave up 6 earned runs last night. Hits between these 2 clubs so far, 11 runs. Cardinals have left 6 on, the Reds 8. A long way to go here. Reds trying for their 2nd straight win over St. Louis, which would guarantee them of a series victory, their 3rd in a row. Even things up with the Cardinals as far as the series go this year, as the Cardinals took 2 out of 3 back in April in St. Louis over Cincinnati. Two-two pitch in the air, center field. Grichuk under it. 2 down. Be a part of Super Saturdays this Saturday. 25,000. The first 25,000 are going to get a Reds Garden Gnome with the Chris Welsh stash on it, thanks to Miracle Grow. Catch all the action for only $12. For tickets, call 513-381 Reds or visit Reds.com. Look at Garden Gnome. Jay Bruce singled in the first, drove in a run. 4-game hitting streak now for Bruce, also doubled in the 4th. He's working on a 2-for-3 night.
Kiefer would very much like to take care of Jay Bruce right here and not face the guy in the on-deck circle, Adam Duvall. And not just because Duvall is a right-handed hitting slugger, but because he and Kiefer have been facing each other for a long time. Little league, youth ball, high school baseball, and then they were teammates at the University of Louisville. Both drafted by major league teams in 2010. Kiefer went in the 36th round to the Cardinals, as Duvall went in the 11th round to the Giants.
So a couple guys from the Louisville. And I know sometimes I have that problem of somehow putting an E in there. Calling it Louisville. Right. No, that's not all right.
For
people
know
that are from Louisville, that is not cool. I've been working on it. Louisville.
Now you're beginning to sound like a native.
Well, that wouldn't be all bad. That's a great city.
Yes, it is.
But I'm not the only one. There are a lot of people that say to Louisville. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rip the foul. Look out. Jay Bruce sitting on 13 home runs, and it took him till July 10th to hit 13 last year. On pace for 37 home runs, which would be the lookout again.
I'll tell you, Jay Bruce is just up there letting it rip. Kiefer throwing that slow, kind of curvy, slurvy slop up there, and Bruce is just kind of bailing and wailing. Well, he hadn't thrown a ball in the strike zone yet.
Laid off of an outside pitch there. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Kiefer bringing it. Bruce ripping it foul again. Good battle going on here. Chopper from short right field. Second baseman makes the play. And there you see the last name carved into that, Jordan Spieth.
18 inches tall, it weighs approximately 8.5 pounds, and the winner is able to take it home. And then he returns it the next year, but Jordan Spieth was gracious enough to let us use it here at Great American Ballpark tonight.
Well, they have the option to buy one too, I think, if you want to.
Oh, really?
I think you can purchase.
Might be the only way any of us will get close to.
No, not us. The winner of the tournament.
The winner has a chance.
Yeah, once you give it back,
I
think you could buy one. I don't know, Jeff McCrow, you got information?
They have
on that?
bobblehead night at baseball games. Why wouldn't they have like U.S. Open trophy night?
Well, you're exactly right, guys. The winner can buy a replica. He gets to take that home for a year, then he has to return it, and then he's given the opportunity to buy a replica trophy that has all the names imprinted on, just like the real one, although about a fraction of the cost.
I'm sorry, Chris, you're not eligible unless you win it. I know you can swing it with the best of them.
I missed a qualifier again this year. Sorry.
Well, you know what? Last year it was at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. Prior to the Open, was going down swinging as Stephen Piscotty. Josh Smith has faced 4 batters, retired them all, and struck out 2.
Going back to the last couple of times that Josh Smith has been in a ball game, the 4 that he has retired tonight, add that up to 8 previous. He has now retired 12 straight. He's got the slider working.
I tell you what, it doesn't matter what your name is. If you are performing out of that bullpen, you're going to stick. The Reds are at the point right now where they're looking for results. he's doing work against Johnny Peralta.
You know, kind of interesting, really, the ties that Johnny Peralta and Brandon Phillips have, because when Johnny Peralta and Phillips were both in the Indians organization, Peralta and Phillips were coming up as shortstops. Peralta was the International League Player of the Year in 2004, and that caused the Indians to move Phillips to second base. So they had both had an opportunity in 2005 to make the Indians ball club. As it turned out, Peralta won that battle in spring training. Phillips went back down to the minor leagues, and then in 2006, it was when the Reds traded for Brandon Phillips, and the infield, of course, belonged to Peralta from that point. That was after Omar Vizquel had just left Cleveland.
Right. And you still can't believe, I mean, you never know what's going to happen in baseball. Phillips designated for assignment by the Indians and then working out a trade with the Reds. Certainly one of the greatest trades in Reds history.
In fact, the guy that made that trade, Wayne Kripke, now a front office operative for the Minnesota Twins, here tonight to watch the ball game. He was also the general manager at the time when the Reds hired Chris Buckley, who was the director of scouting, and he will be busy the next few days, obviously, with the amateur draft coming up.
They'll be very busy. That amateur draft tomorrow night. The Reds with the 2nd overall pick, pick number 35 and pick number 43. Not a top-heavy draft, so they'll roll the dice on who they'll pick at number 2, but a deep enough draft that they should get 2 very good players at 35 and 43.
When Brandon Phillips was taken by the Expos in 1999, he was in the 2nd round. They took Josh Girdley in the 1st round.
Every time we go up to Cleveland, we talk to Indians fans, and Brandon performs so well against the Indians. His numbers are great against them. Just eats in their crawl. Just one of those moves that, doggone it, we let him get away. But who knows if he would have had that success at Cleveland. Obviously, he was scuffling for them to put him, for them to designate him for a
I can tell you that the front office probably turned over 3 times since they traded Brandon Phillips.
Yeah, but the fans do remember. Suarez going to have to hurry. Run. 2nd out. Picky got more on the draft.
Yeah, guys, tomorrow the Reds will draft that first at about 7:16, and the 35th will be just before 10 o'clock, and the 43rd at 10:15. Now, we'll keep you updated on the pregame show and then during the game itself. So 7:16 is the first pick for the Reds.
Joel Luckham hands me a card that I hope comes to fruition. Between 1988 and 2013. 25 of the 26 players drafted 2nd overall reached Major League Baseball. So let's hope that's a good omen. Will it be high school arm, college arm, or college hitter? There's a hard hit ball into the stands, a missile shot off the bat of Brandon Moss, his 2nd home run of the game. And the Cardinals retake a 2-run lead.
Well, he hit some high and deep like he did in the 5th inning, a moonshot that went almost to the top of the moon deck, and that one a line drive that you were wondering if it had enough height to get out of here.
It got out of here in a hurry. 8th career multi-home run game now for Moss, and his 13 home runs lead the Cardinals. 100th home run allowed by the Reds this season. So Josh Smith was cruising, retiring the first 5 batters he faced, and Moss with a laser beam to right. And now a 7-5 Cardinals advantage. 2 for 3 night for Yadier Molina. Double, single, and a run scored. And seemingly he's out of the funk he was in. The 2-1 pitch. Foul back. Home runs now given up off of Reds pitching. That is the most in the National League. And coming into tonight, there's no one close. The Brewers had given up 81 coming into tonight. So walks and home runs, one of the bugaboos from the Reds pitching staff. 3-2 pitch to Molina outside. Been a while since a pitching staff has given up that many home runs through 59 games. 2000 Royals had 103 home runs allowed through 59. And that is the 6th walk given up by Reds pitching tonight, as Simon walked 5 in 5 innings of work. A little pep talk from pitching coach Mark Riggins. And now Randal Grichuk. First pitch from Josh Smith. Breaking ball inside. A 1-0. 2-0. The mask of Barnhart.
Literally.
2 balls, 1 strike. Yikes. Tucker used to wear that hockey goalie style mask. Last year went to the traditional mask.
I thought when I saw that mask fly off like that, he may have replaced the factory straps with the Davy strap. Actually, when a mask flies off like that, you take less of a blunt force to your face than you do when the mask stays on and it hits you straight on.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Randal Grichuk. 2 outs. We're in the top of the 7th. Man on first. Smith bringing it outside and low. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 3-2 and 2 outs. That runner from first will be on the move. Yadier Molina. And the payoff pitch into left field, a base hit. Molina will stop at second. 2 on, 2 outs. Following each and every Reds game here on Fox Sports Ohio. Stick around for Reds Live, the post-game edition, brought to you by Performance Kings Honda. put a complete capper on this one. Interviews and much more. So with 2 on, 2 outs, another conversation on the hill between Barnhart and Josh Smith.
It'll probably be just going over the scouting report of the pinch hitter. It'll be another Garcia. Jaime Garcia with the first 3 ABs, and now Greg Garcia comes up here to hit in the 7th. Greg Garcia, an infielder, left-hander, came up through the Cardinals organization.
And now Price comes to the mound. That's going to be it for Josh Smith. J.C. Ramirez has been getting it cranked up in the Reds bullpen. And he will come on to face Greg Garcia. 2-run ball game. See how it unfolds here in the top of the 7th when we come back. And do here. Keep his team in the game. Reds down by 2 and hoping to keep it that way. 2 on, 2 outs.
Well, you can say the Reds bullpen is somewhat short-handed, but it is imbalanced if nothing else. They don't have any more than just one left-hander. That would be Tony Cingrani down there, and he's been used as the closer. So what you lack in lefties, you hope to make up with in stuff, and that's what J.C. Ramirez brings, a very powerful arm. And see if he can take care of the left-hander Garcia.
It's been a roller coaster ride for Ramirez and many of the bullpenners. He worked 2 nights ago, just 2/3 of an inning, 4 hits, 2 earned runs against the Washington Nationals in that 10-9 Nationals victory. Right through the box and into center field for a base hit. They're going to wave around Molina, and Hamilton seemingly could have had a chance at the slow-running Molina, but decided to put it in his back pocket. Interesting decision. I'm not sure if he bobbled the ball or could get a handle on it, but he certainly would have had a play had he come plateward.
Well, Molina with 2 outs, as soon as the ball is struck, he's going to start running. Now, as you said, he's not a very fast runner, and it could have been just a bobble inside the glove right there. Maybe Billy Hamilton came up and saw that Molina was about halfway to the plate and didn't have the play that he thought he did. Nonetheless, 4 consecutive runners have reached base after 2 outs.
It's a big run right there for the Cardinals. Greg Garcia delivering the pinch hit, RBI single, and pinch hits have been off the charts for the Cardinals this year.
Well, they've been extremely good. Garcia against right-handers hitting over 400, and against J.C. Ramirez, lefties are hitting over 300. So the Reds could really use another lefty in that pen.
Swing and a miss by Carpenter. Cardinals getting all kinds of hits from their pinch hitters, and they have a league-leading 10 pinch hit home runs this season. They're getting hitting all through their lineup and from their bench. 0-2 to Carpenter. This has been an offensive battle. Cardinals took a 3-0 lead in the top of the first. Reds battled back to tie it up at 4. Now the Cardinals with 2 scored here in the 7th, claiming 8-5 lead. J.C. Ramirez delivers the 2-2. 3-2. balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners will be on the move. There they go. Swing. Cozart diving stop in the shift. In time. Pretty play by the Reds shortstop. And it saves a run. Cardinals play 2. Lead 8-5.
Weeks in here, and boy, if you're a Cub fan, you are doing a job. You've got to get some Reds in there. Rizzo, Zobrist, Russell, and Bryant, all Cubs in the infield, with the Yadier Molina behind the plate. Dexter Fowler at Cub in right, Bryce Harper and Jonas Cespedes. The only Red in the top 5 at any position is Zach Cozart at number 5 at shortstop. But Rizzo is your leading vote getter right now in the National League. Don't forget the All-Star Game is in San Diego, July 12th on Fox. But you Reds fans, go to Reds.com or MLB.com and start voting for your Reds players. We got to get in there, boys.
Well, the guy stepping to the plate right now certainly deserves consideration. Obviously, he doesn't have the big name, Adam Duvall, but he's got the numbers to back it up. And he is facing a Cardinals reliever, Sung Wong Oh. And Chris, he has been very, very effective for the Cardinals.
Well, he's a veteran pitcher. He's 33 years old, Oh is, and a guy that throws hard. He's a veteran of many, many years as a bullpen and as a closer.
Pitched in Korea and Japan. And a 1.81 ERA, 357 saves over 498 professional appearances in Korea and Japan.
And really what the Cardinals have in O is a backup plan in the event that their normal closer, Rosenthal, struggles or continues to struggle. They could just insert O as the closer without really skipping much of a beat. If you watch his pitching delivery, I mean, it's almost a 2-piece delivery. Takes a step back, winds up, and then hesitates, and then drives to the plate. But for his height, he has an extremely long stride. He's only 5'10", which is short by Major League standards now. But he's very close to home plate when he releases the ball because of that long stride, where he actually drags his stride foot a little bit on the dirt. The hesitation there, and then driving, really using his legs.
And that hesitation has to mess with the timing of hitters.
And you gotta love his nicknames. I mean, when he was closing all the games he did over in Korea and in Japan, he acquired 2 nicknames, translated roughly as a Final Boss or Stone Buddha.
Stone Buddha.
I think that's the one that should stick.
The Final Boss delivers the 3-2 pitch and gets Duvall swinging.
He just goes right upstairs with a 4-seam fastball and challenges Duvall. Take another look at the footwork that O has right there. He's got personalized spikes, a little click of the dirt there, and then moving forward. Completely legal.
How hard is it to maintain your velocity with that pitch in the giddy-up?
Or your balance.
Yeah.
I would probably tip over if I tried.
Well, I'm top heavy. I would certainly hit the deck. 2-0 the count to Eugenio Suarez. His arsenal O includes a rising 4-seam fastball, a splitter, slider, and curveball. Sung Won Oh. With the OH on the back of the jersey. Trying to get an IO out of it.
You know, it's interesting because everybody's talking about the amateur draft coming up. But the other factor when a team goes out to try to find young talent or any talent that can help them in the major leagues is the international signing. And the Cardinals have accumulated a great deal of money, somewhere in the neighborhood of $50 million, that they will be able to use in international signing pools. And all of that is restricted. You know, what they've done in baseball now is that they have limited the amount of international money that teams can use so that it's somewhat uniform across the board. Some teams can use a certain amount in some years, and if you save enough money, you can use it in other years. And the Cardinals have saved some, and they feel like they're going to be very aggressive in the international marketplace. Reds also have saved a lot of money, and they've got some money to be able to spend as they continue to rebuild and try to get some new talent.
So Lowe has faced two batters and struck them both out. Billy Hamilton working on another good night, 2 for 3. This coming on the heels of a 3 for 4 night last night. Billy hit one out of the yard last night. Couple stolen bases. A good series so far from the Reds center fielder, and nice diving catch back in the 5th to rob Matt Adams.
Hey, one thing, Owe wastes no time at all. I mean, he's just about ready to rock and roll as soon as he gets that ball back.
Just like we like it. The 2-2 pitch. Check swing.
Run.
Billy hesitated, looking back. Did Billy think he found that ball off?
No, I think he feel like he did not swing.
But 3 up, 3 down. Miller time moment. I feel good for him because he was one of those guys when he came up earlier, got one at bat, and the bat never left his shoulder. He struck out without even swinging the bat. And some guys will come up for a cup of coffee and never get another opportunity. And I thought he was going to be like Moonlight Graham, hoping for that one more major league at bat. And he finally got it tonight and got that hit.
I'm happy for him. And you mentioned that he may want to put that ball on his mantle. Well, that's assuming that he has a mantle. I mean, after all, how many fireplaces are there in Manhattan Beach, California?
Well, he'll put it, I don't know,
on the surfboard.
On the surfboard. He was out at Dodger Stadium, and man, he had a cheering squad. There had to be 50 people there. And then got sent down and had to make that long plane ride after his family and friends showed up, and he didn't get to play. He got some good major league meal money. Hard hit ball into left field. Off the bat of Aledmus Diaz. And that is his first hit of the series. Gianni Redleg. So Diaz aboard. J.C. Ramirez still in the game for Cincinnati. And now Matt Adams. Adams 1 for 4. 3-run bomb in the 1st, was robbed in the 5th by Hamilton. Fouls it back.
Adams another one of those players that kind of beat the odds as far as where he was drafted versus where he is right now as a major league player. 23rd round, 2009, the Cardinals picked him. And really, there's not, I mean, the expectations are if you're in the 23rd round and you make it to the major leagues for a cup of coffee, you've really done something. But he is a mainstay in the middle of the lineup, batting 3rd tonight.
And delivers a single here to set up a 1st and 3rd situation. And that time the shift got to Cincinnati. Phillips was playing way over towards first base.
Well, he just seems to have a knack for beating the Reds defensive shift. Whether he hits it down the left field line or he finds a hole somewhere in the right side. Guy just has a knack for doing it.
Now Piscotty with 2 on and nobody out. First matchup ever between batter and hitter. That would be batter and pitcher.
Piscotty's already struck out 3 times tonight. He's one of the few Cardinals that has not joined the hit parade. They've got a dozen of them. And he's on the verge of the golden sombrero if he chases another slider in the dirt.
Struck out looking in the first, swinging in the third, swinging in the 7th. Shoots one to right field, and that'll bring home another Cardinal run. Good piece of hitting right there, Stephen Piscotty. Went down and got it.
He sure did go down and get it. I mean, this is a pitch that just about ankle high. Look at Barnhart going down to actually block that ball and punches it into right field. Well, that shot of Brian Price, just classic. I mean, how many times have we looked in the dugout this year at this time of the ball game and seen that same look of frustration on his face?
Hits are even up now, 13 apiece, but the Cardinals own the most important category, 9-5. 3 straight singles here in the 8th off of J.C. Ramirez. Still nobody out. Inside pitch to Peralta.
Peralta just the 2nd night back from an extended stint on the disabled list due to a thumb injury.
And the 2-0 pitch. Oh boy. Welcome back, Johnny Peralta. 3-run home run, and the Cardinals have blown this one wide open. First home run in just his 2nd game back.
Well, he's always been a very good fastball hitter, Johnny Peralta has, and he gets one right there, 96 miles an hour or not. Johnny Peralta shows you that 96 nowadays in the major leagues is hitting speed, and you just can't throw it in that spot, no matter what speed, and expect to get major league hitters out. 4 have come to the plate. Every one of them have scored in this inning.
Single, single, single home run. Now down by 7. The Reds looking to record their first out of the 8th. And Brandon Moss working on a 2-home run night himself. And they came in his last 2 plate appearances. A 2-run shot in the 5th. Solo shot in the 7th. Three balls, 1 strike. And he walked him. Brian Price, I believe, has seen enough. A.J. Morris has been warming up in the pen for Cincinnati. And Price will go to the home plate umpire and make a double switch.
He has definitely seen enough.
Well,
and I'm not particularly referring to J.C. Ramirez tonight only, but he has seen this scene repeated at this point in the ball game so many times this season. And it's almost inexplicable that you have a pitcher with the arm that Ramirez has and the inability to get hitters out at this level.
We'll tell you about the double switch on the other side. Ramirez gives the ball to Price, and here comes A.J. Morris.
Hey, your best bat flip could be your ticket to the MLB All-Star Game in San Diego. Post a video of your bat flip to @Fox Sports with the hashtag #FoxBatFlipContest now through June 26th. Visit foxsports.com/batflipcontest for more information. Jim, Chris, back to you.
A.J. Morris is the new pitcher coming into the ball game in relief of J.C. Ramirez. 12-5. And it has been blown out in this inning with the 4 runs the Cardinals have pushed across. Nobody out. And down at the bottom half of the order with Molina and Grichuk due up. A.J. 5th game overall. Kansas State, drafted by the Washington Nationals, 2009. He's from Humboldt, Texas, and Humboldt, Texas is a neighborhood right outside of the Houston area. And I'm sure he's looking forward to the Reds' next road trip that will take them through Atlanta and then Houston and then Dallas. Braves, Astros, and Rangers.
Temperatures will be up a little bit on that trip. Pop fly. Bruce has it in right. And finally an out recorded by the Reds here in the 8th. Phillips did a nice job of getting out of the way. Phillips has always been one of those active second basemen who will go out deep to get those balls. And quite honestly, took a little while for Jay Bruce to get used to. Any right fielder, because right fielder calls you off, it is their ball. To Phillips' credit, he's made a lot of those catches out in the outfield. 2 for 3 night for Randal Grichuk. The 0-1 from A.J. Morris. Ripped but foul. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Down goes Grichuk. Second out of the inning. 6th strikeout of the night for Reds pitchers.
Little slider with nice downward movement right there.
And that'll bring up pinch hitter Jeremy Hazelbaker, who back in April was setting the world on fire in the starting lineup for the Cardinals. A diamond in the rough, if you will. Now mostly coming off the bench, and you saw his pinch hit numbers, which was right in line with this Cardinals team, who have been pinch hit monsters. There you see the numbers and the drop off. Check swing, check down to third base. Third base umpire Ron Culpa says yes indeed.
Ron Culpa giving the message, you better be up there hacking, because if it's close, we're ringing you up.
That would be a 7-run ring up. Seven-run cushion for the Cardinals. The 0-2 from Morris. Grounder backhanded off the glove of Votto. into right field. And the inning continues for St. Louis. E3. Third error of the season for the Reds first baseman. And now back to the top of the order, Matt Carpenter. Inning extended here for A.J. Morris, who retired the first two batters he faced. Carpenter's been on base 3 times tonight, 2 walks and an RBI double. 1-0. 2-0. Ball foul.
Nice play by the ball boy down the right field line. Wonder if he's draft eligible.
Check it out. On the carom. Oh, going down and getting it.
Got a little first baseman's glove down there.
Does.
Probably could scoop too.
Absolutely. Reds could have used him last night. Committed a season high 4 errors last night. Heck, they could have used him on that last ground ball. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The runner from first will be on the move. Foul back. Two pitch. He walked him. Now big trouble. Bases loaded. The 10th man of the 8th inning will stroll to the plate in Aledmus Diaz. He led off the 8th inning with a single and scored. And he'll bat for the 2nd time in the inning. 8 walks now by Reds pitching. Ground ball to Phillips on the first. Morris strands 3, but a big inning for the Cardinals, and they're all over the Reds. Power tool performer is Tucker Barnhart, having himself a good night at the plate. 3 for 3, a solo home run, couple of singles, scored 2 runs. Reds have 5 on the board, but the pitching staff, a tough night for the Reds. Simon goes 5, gives up 6. An inning and 2/3 from Josh Smith gave up 2 earned runs. And J.C. Ramirez gave up 4 in just 1/3 of an inning. And on for the Cardinals, lefty Tyler Lyons.
They've used a lot of pitchers tonight. The Cardinals have. He is the 5th pitcher of the night for Mike Matheny.
Line drive to left, but Hazelbaker's there for the first down. One down, and now Tyler Holt will get his first crack tonight. Congratulations going out to Louisville Slugger Field and Blue Wahoo Stadium. They were voted by Ballpark Digest as the best AAA and AA ballparks. I told you about that on the last road trip for Cincinnati, that they were in the running. They were in the top 4, the top 2. Congratulations, they won it. And anyone that's watched games there, the Reds are very blessed to have their AAA club and their AA club playing in 2 of the finest stadiums in baseball.
Oh, you're not kidding. I was just up at the Dayton Dragon Fifth Third Bank ballpark
Great
today,
ballpark.
and that is a beautiful place. Of course, they continue to sell out every night, despite the fact that Dragons are having kind of a tough year on the field. But
for a single A ballpark, I tell you what, beautiful setting. Great baseball fans up there in Dayton. Always have been. Even long before the Dayton Dragons were even in existence. Lions ahead 0-2 on Tyler Holt. Swing and a miss, and down goes Holt. 2 down in the Reds' 8th. Volkswagen drive of the game came in the 4th. Zach Cozart, 9th home run of the season. It was a solo shot, and at that time it was a brand new ball game. Reds fell behind 3-0, 4-1. And that home run tied it up. The Cardinals just kept chewing away. 2 in the 5th, 2 in the 7th, 4 in the 8th for a 12-5 lead. Ground ball to second. 1-2-3 inning for Lions. We go to the 9th. Cardinals up big time. And with a 7-run spread, A.J. Moore stays in the game for Cincinnati. A couple of other changes. Votto's night is done. Ivan DeJesus Jr. at first base. And out in right field is Kyle Waldrop. And here's Eric Fryer, the backup catcher for the Cardinals. Who has a distinct connection with Cardinal skipper Mike Matheny, both hailing from Reynoldsburg, Ohio, a suburb of Columbus. Foul ball. And you would think Mike Matheny, being from a suburb of Columbus, would have been earmarked for The Ohio State University, but was not offered a scholarship there, and then went to Michigan.
Well, the other high school catcher that was in Columbus that was offered by Ohio State, I can't remember his name now, but he ended up going and playing in the minor leagues a little bit. Of course, he didn't have the kind of major league career that Mike Matheny did, but Matheny got offered the University of Michigan. That's where he ended up. He catches a lot of flack for it.
Well, he met his wife there. who was, I believe, a field hockey player there. But now there has to be all kinds of, I don't want to say problems in the household, but maybe arguments. It's Phillips throws it into the camera well. Tried for the spectacular play, but ended up giving up the base hit and an E4 to allow the runner to go to second. But getting back to that Mike Matheny story, his daughter Katie plays women's ice hockey at The Ohio State University. So mom and dad played sports at Michigan and daughters at Ohio State. So I have to imagine it is tough to put on that scarlet and gray and root on the daughter. But family comes first.
Never hard to root for the daughter.
And they proudly put it on and root her on.
And he has a couple of sons that are currently playing college baseball as well.
Yeah. His wife Kristen played field hockey at the University of Michigan. They have 5 kids. Katie, the daughter we just talked about, 4 sons. Phillips has this one. 1 down. Matheny's son Tate played baseball at Missouri State University and was drafted in the 4th round of the June 2015 draft by the Boston Red Sox. So an athletic kind of family in the Matheny household. Johnny Peralta delivered a 3-run home run to blow this game open back in the 8th. And what a return he's had. 2 for 4 tonight. 2 for 4 last night. Ground out to short here. So if the Cardinals could get consistent starting pitching, they've got the lineup to do some damage. There's a lot of season left. Now catching the Cubs would be a different story. Cardinals 10.5 games back of the Cubs coming into tonight's play. And the Cubs have already won today, 8-1 over the Phillies.
In fact, the Cardinals are further behind the Cubs than the Reds are behind the Cardinals.
Yeah. Been an unbelievable run so far for the Cubs. Now 41-17 on the season. 41-17.
That's like a college record.
It really is. It's above
really
a 700 winning percentage.
Exactly. Of a real good D1 school that is beating up on some small schools during the week and taking care of it in their own conference.
And seemingly every night you look up and they've got an 8 spot on the board. The Cubs.
And the other team doesn't have much going at all. John Lackey today is the beneficiary of 8 runs by the Cubs. He held the Phillies to 1 run.
One-two pitch into center field. Tyler Holt now in center for Cincinnati. Gloves it. Last chance for the Reds, and they need a bunch.
Ball game tonight in the 8th inning is when the Cardinals pushed across 4 runs, but they also batted 10 batters in that inning. And believe it or not, that is the 13th time this year in 58 games, 59 games now, that the Reds have faced 9 or more batters in an inning. Wow. Only the Rockies have more, and they have 1 more.
Ivan De Jesus Jr. left center field, hit well to the wall. Leadoff double. De Jesus Jr.
You know, you take advantage of whatever opportunity you have. Looking for a first pitch fastball, figuring that Tyler Lyons is going to lay one in there to try to get ahead in a big lead like the Cardinals have, and he jumps all over it. Good for Ivan Jr.
That is a 6-game hitting streak for Ivan De Jesus Jr. that ties his career high. So after a slow start to the season for Ivan, he's really come on when he has gotten a chance. And an ultimate utility man, proving it tonight by playing first. We've seen him at third, we've seen him at short, we've seen him at first, we've seen him at second. Phillips puts a charge into one. Center field. Over the head of the center fielder. A ground rule double. And De Jesus will score. And the Reds pull within 6. 2 batters, 2 doubles here in the 9th.
Well, after this double drives in the 6th run of the ball game, Brandon Phillips picks up the RBI, and this is the 7th straight game in which the Reds have scored 6 or more runs. In other words, they've done it in every game in the month of June.
The 814th RBI of the career of Brandon Phillips. That ties him with Vada Pinson on the all-time Reds RBI list. Ground ball off the bat of Waldrop. Adams will take it himself. 1 down. That's also an 11-game hitting streak for Phillips. And there you look at the list, tied with Pinson for 9th all-time. George Foster, 861. The next in line. And that 11-game hitting streak is the most by a Red this season. And the longest current streak in the National League. And now Duvall. Single back in the 1st. 17 home runs, 38 runs driven. A 1 pitch, grounder to the 3rd. So get a run home, but the Cardinals looking for outs. 5-3 on the putout. Credit the RBI to Duvall. And a 12-7 game. Now Suarez, the only position player who started the game tonight without a hit. He has struck out 3 times. Trying to avoid the golden sombrero. So the Reds down to their final out. Cardinals looking to even up this 3-game set at a game apiece. Swing and a miss. Cardinals a strike away. Two balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch. Upstairs, 3-2. plate umpire Chris Conroy rings him up. 4th time that Suarez strikes out on the night, and the Cardinals take game 2 of this 3-game set, out slugging the Reds 12-7. Rubber game of the 3-game set on tap tomorrow night here on Fox Sports Ohio. Stay with us, more to come. Reds Live, the post-game edition, right around the corner.